Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the astrological aspects for April of 2025. So for the most part, April starts off well, not too much happening, thankfully. Much easier month than March. However, like I stated, the next 6 months will be a handful. So let's hope things will be peaceful. Towards the end of the month, we do have a couple of days that can be difficult. So I will let you know when we get to that part. Remember that the strongest energy of an aspect is right before it reaches that day, right? So applying aspects are stronger than separating aspects. When you have, let's say that you have a planet that is approaching another planet, right? The planet is here and then it's approaching. That is an applying aspect. If the planet is here and then it goes over and then it starts to move away, that is a separating aspect. So kind of like the energy is stronger when it's starting to make it to that other planet, and then the energy kind of dissipates when it starts to separate. All right. So let's start. On April 4th, we have Mars in Cancer trining Saturn in Pisces at 25 degrees. A very harmonious day because Saturn sextiles Uranus and Mars is also in sextile to Uranus. So there can be a nice surprise in the air, literally. Any creative ideas that you have, put them on paper or on a computer because it can turn out really well later on, right? On April 6th, we have Venus retrograde in Pisces. So remember that Venus is exalted in Pisces. The retrograde makes her a little bit weaker, but life is what it is. We'll be in trine with Mars in Cancer, which is debilitated because Mars is exalted in Capricorn and it's at 25 degrees. On this day, though, there's a sextile from the Sun in Aries. It's sextiling Jupiter in Gemini. So this day is really nice for going out on a date or stay at home with, your significant other and make a romantic dinner type of thing, because of the Mars in Cancer. April 7th, we have Venus retrograde conjunct Saturn in Pisces at 25 degrees. In love and money, if both parties are holding up the Saturnian principles, discipline, being honest, and, hard work, putting everything that you can and doing things right, things can go very well in love and money. And also on April 7th, Mercury finally goes direct in Pisces at 27 degrees. On April 12th, we have the full moon at 23 degrees of Libra. So I wanted to share my screen with you guys to show you um here we go. I love AstroSeek. I love this calendar because this is the web address, right? AstroSeek dash astro-seek.com. And then you go here on the moon calendar, and here you see the full moons, new moons. You get the calendar month, for March of 2025 or whatever month is current. And then the eclipses are here. Any information that you want about the moon is there. So what I did is I went to full moon and new moons, and then voila, here it is. And we are talking about this is no, wait a minute. This is this one, April 13th. And here we have the full moon in Libra at 23 degrees, and it's a full moon. Why? Because the sun and the moon are in opposition. So when this happens, um, that is called a full moon, right? The sun is in opposition to the moon. Now it is squaring, right? It is squaring Cancer on both sides. You know, these little red lines are the squares to the sun and the moon, and it's squaring Cancer, which is the natural significator for family. But the full moon is in Libra, so careful with arguments or heated discussions with your partner, Libra, or your family, Cancer, because it's a square. And then Venus goes direct finally in Pisces at 25 degrees. So new relationships, and if I were you, I would wait until the shadow period is over. But if you meet someone now, you know, things can go forward and things can be a lot better, right? So that's what I have to say about this full moon. Everything else, I mean, yeah, this full moon, because everything else is in, you know, trine and has a trine to Pluto. Um, it has, I mean, you know, it's nice. The sun, like I said, it only has a square from Mars and the square to the moon. And that's it. But pretty much you have a lot of little blue lines and you have, you know, Venus is trining Mars. So things can be very passionate in the romance department. And yeah, ooh, Venus is sextiling Uranus. So if you meet somebody, it will be like a love at first sight type of thing, right? Like, you know, this person's going to catch your attention. But when Venus is an aspect to Uranus, the relationship doesn't last. It's a fling, especially if Uranus is in communication, aspecting your natal Venus in your chart. Then, you know, the relationship does not last, unfortunately. Just wanted to, you know, put it out there. Now, on April 15th, tax day in the United States, and Mercury enters Aries. So careful with what you say, because when Mercury enters Aries, the communication can be seen as being like too blunt, too aggressive, too assertive. You know, Aries speaks first and thinks afterwards because, you know, they're saying the truth. So why should people be offended, right? So, but that's Aries. April 16th, Mercury will conjunct Neptune at 1 degree. So this Mercury, the mind, your thoughts, let your imagination just go free. A lot of creative ideas. It will be really good. Um, However, when it comes to signing documents, remember Neptune doesn't let you see things clearly. Neptune can have like the document can have a mistake, and documents, Mercury rules documents. That's why I'm saying documents. So if you're signing a lease, a rental agreement, buying a car, you might not see things the way they really are. So if you can wait to sign for these papers, um, then do so, right? If it's not necessary, do not sign on this date. You can review. And if you have to sign because you know your rent is up and you need to move and so on and so forth, then review the document in great detail because there can be mistakes, basically. Now, oh, let me stop sharing the screen because we've talked about the full moon. Now, on April 17th, Mars enters Leo. So Mars in Leo is it's the natural fifth house, right? So people want to start having fun. You know, basically spring is here. So people want to get out, maybe play some recreational sports, you know, after being cooped up in winter, you know, because of winter, all these months. So it's a time to have fun. April 19th, the sun enters Taurus. So happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. Lots of birthday wishes, health, love, money, in that order. So, Mars on this day also, April 19th, Mars in Leo trines Neptune in Aries at 1 degree. So, especially for the fire signs, or if your Mars or Neptune aspects this aspect, then this can enhance your charms, make you more charismatic, more attractive, or you may even feel more attractive, right? If you are in a partnership already, then enjoy love tonight. It's a fabulous night. If single and it's Saturday night, so go out with your friends and maybe you can meet someone now that can turn out to be something later on. Venus is direct, but not out of the shadow period yet. So take it slowly. And then we have that sextile from Venus to Uranus. So that just happened on the full moon. So, take it in stride. April 20th, the sun in Taurus squares Mars in Leo at 1 degree. So this is a day that gives you a lot of energy in the houses that you have in your natal chart, your Taurus house and your Leo house. You will feel like very energetic about those themes. So use it wisely. April 23rd, the sun in Taurus is square to Pluto in Aquarius at 4 degrees. So this can be a difficult day on a personal note and on a mundane note as well. Do not challenge a powerful or authoritative figure today. Today is not the day to ask for anything from your boss, your parent, anybody that has a power over you or has some kind of, grip over you, right? Like so, that you consider an authority figures. Remember that Taurus and Aquarius are fixed signs. So they're not going to budge. If you ask for something, they say no, it's a no. They're not going to change their mind. So I would suggest that you delay the conversation as much as possible, maybe to like the end of the month. April 24th, Venus is conjunct Saturn and are both in Pisces at 27 degrees. So your thoughts may be on love, but Saturn is going to restrict it and say, you need to attend to your responsibilities first. So you need to do that. April 25th, Mars in Leo opposes Pluto in Aquarius at 4 degrees. I do not like this day, both on a personal note and on a mundane level. Mars, in the negative sense, is war, and Pluto is total destruction. So, again, no arguments with anybody, especially a person in power, your boss, your parent, authority figures like the officials in your city. You might be given an ultimatum basically on something that you want. And it's my way or the highway, and I don't really care what you want, how you're feeling, or whatever. It's this person is going to be very set in their ways, unfortunately. On a positive note, though, this energy is go, go, go because Mars is pure energy and Pluto is obsessed with getting things done. Like, Pluto won't stop until it gets to where it needs to go, no matter what. So take note, if you are a person in authority, not to be too forceful with anyone under you. Like, well, I shouldn't say under you, but somebody that reports to you. If you are a supervisor, a manager, a director, a VP, or something like that, chill out on this day. Don't come down on anybody. Watch your words because you might actually hurt somebody's feelings. On April 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus at 7 degrees. And let me show you. Let me share the screen again. So now here we're talking about a new moon. A new moon in Taurus at 7 degrees, and we have the moon conjunct the sun, right? So this is a new moon. Now, this new moon is squaring Mars and it is squaring Pluto, and Pluto is in opposition to Mars. So the energy that I spoke about on April 25th continues. This is a new moon. New moons start things, right? So it will magnify the energy on April 25th because it's a new moon. So again, I would delay any conversations with anybody in power or anything. Like, don't step on anybody's toes. And again, if you are a supervisor or something like that, take it easy on your staff. And then finally, on April 30th, Venus enters Aries again. So the fire signs can look more attractive. For people that have a, and also people that have planets in personal planets, mind you, not any of the outer planets. I don't care about that. Personal planets. If you have any planets on personal planets on fire signs, Venus or Mars, especially, that would make you more attractive because it's either a sextile, well, sextile for airs and a trine for fire signs. Um, let's see what of Mercury. Also, if this Venus aspects your Mercury, then you will be speaking lovely words to somebody that interests you. Anyhow, this is all I have for you for April of 2025. Like I said, the month starts pretty well. It's only towards the end of the month that we might see some fireworks if you're not careful. But since you've listened to this video, everything should work out fine. Right, so if you've learned anything from this video or you find it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody that it also might help. As always, if you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.